Greetings, wayfarers, and welcome back to the Jester's Court. I am your Menagerie keeper, Rachel Kordell, and I am joined by Andrew Frost.
Oh yeah, bucko. Let me tell you something, you low-down, no-good ingredient-stealing stinker. You think you can waltz into my buddy here's favorite restaurant, swipe the secret sauce, and get away with it? Well, you've got another thing coming, because the Bibliolater is about to lay the smackdown on you library style. You see, I've been flipping through the pages of pain, and I've stuck a bookmark in a special chapter just for you. When I get my hands on you, it's gonna be a spine-busting, book-slamming, Dewey Decimal disaster. We're talking about a full-on, no-holds-barred literary beatdown that will leave you begging for a library card to escape the madness. So you better run, you better hide, because the Bibliolater is coming for you. And when I'm done, you'll be nothing but a footnote in the book of bozos. Oh yeah, dig it.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Right.
Mine's gonna be just as good as Andrew's.
Yeah, mine's gonna be just as good as Andrew's.
Yep. All the same caliber.
Fantastic. Seth Coveyou.
Cluck cluck, it's time to fuck. I'm the chicken barbarian named Prince Meeced.
What a cock!
I'm the cock of the walk, baby.
I can't
Oh
wait
my
for
God.
next week where it's cluck cluck, it's time to cuck.
Casey Reardon.
With cooking supplies and googly eyes, it's Belle.
Ooh.
I love that.
Wow. Are three of us doing rhymes?
Let's find out. And Sky Swanson.
I don't know if you heard, but I'm playing an orb named Shitbird. It's
Yeah. I don't know if you heard.
I don't know if you
But my
heard.
name's Shitbird.
Shitbird.
Okay. Last time on Echoes of the Menagerie, a group of visitors to the Wayfarer's Walk were taken in by the Rift Guard as part of an investigation looking into the sudden disappearances of several shops around the bazaar. To prove their innocence, and not because that was the clear plot thread at all, Barry, Belle, Vince, and Time, as he is known sometimes, set out to Dimensional Delights to begin their search for clues. Upon their arrival, Belle spoke with their uncle Chef Fungal and learned that the shipment of Blub Blub McLubbersnide was not quite in yet. In the meantime, the team discovered a spice sourced from the same dimension as one of the missing shops, the Eternal Bloom, had been pulled straight out of a cooked dish. With this new information, they decided to head off towards the Flux Quarter, where the majority of the shops disappeared from, and to pick up the frequency detector from the Rift Guard. So, before we get into it, I want to do just a little bit of housekeeping because I want to include a notable detail about the Rift Guard that I accidentally left out, and I realized too that with all of these locations, having them a little bit more organized will help you guys figure out where you're going. So first, with the Rift Guard, you have seen them all over on your visits to the Wayfarer's Walk because they are the known law enforcement of the bazaar, so to speak. They have always been marked by their blue attire, but after being detained by them, you would have noticed that they do not have one unique uniform. In fact, their clothes look as though they've come from their home dimensions themselves, but just re-dyed blue. Keep that in mind. Next, in regards to your locations here, the Flux Quarter was mentioned in the first episode. That is where Threads of Eternity is, as well as 3 of the missing shops, including Archive of Shadows, the Flickering Forge, and Eternal Bloom. In another sector, we have the Ever Shift Market, which contains the Chronicle Curio, the Lantern of Fates, Dimensional Delights, which is where you guys were currently, as well as the Motes of Memory, which is another one of the missing shops. The third quarter, we have the Infinity Coil, the Last Exchange, and the Wraithwind Apothecary, which is another one of the missing shops. And not related to the investigation, but because it's relevant to time, that is where Krimgor's Gas and Grass is, or Krimgor's Grass and Gas.
Hell yeah.
Let's get some reefer, dude.
And our final sector, Ethereum Plaza, has Quantum Trinkets, the Shattered Compass, the Veiled Librarium, and the Glass Between Worlds. So, like I said, you guys were in the Evershift Market at Dimensional Delights, and you decided that you were going to move over to the Flux Quarter, where Threads of Eternity is, and the scene of the crime, so to speak, because that's where most of these shops disappeared. Of course, there are other shops in the vicinity, however, these are the ones that we're focusing on. And you guys also said that you wanted to pick up a frequency detector, so the Rift Guard, who is offering you transport around, feel free to interact. You guys get into the back of this van where you have Detective Toolosh behind the wheel currently, and she says to you,
All right, Flux Quarter, yeah? Okay. I guess.
Is it just like a normal ass van?
Of course, it's like sci-fi set up. It's like a big old van with hover wheels, and it's got some hi-fi technology. That's, I don't know what it means.
High fidelity.
Yeah, that's exactly. Sure. Makes sense to me.
And lo-fi would be, like a wagon.
Essentially, yeah. It would be the more high fantasy blend of this world that
Horse-drawn
we're working
wagon.
in.
Yes, we would like to go to the Flux Quarter.
But yeah, that's where you guys are going.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Can we have a van with a warmer sound?
Ah,
A warmer sound? Yeah.
Something perhaps a bit more analog.
Sure. Once I drop you guys off, I will certainly switch out for a vehicle that better suits you.
Sorry, it may also be useful to us to have one of those frequency detectors you've used before.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
As well as 24 hard-boiled eggs.
I thought you didn't eat.
That's the only thing they eat.
Oh, right, you only eat eggs.
That's the only thing we eat because it is of a higher caliber.
Now, do you boil them until the yolk gets green, or do you like it still yellow?
You boil them for 30 minutes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It is the be-all end-all of food.
You could bounce that onto a roof.
Do you also eat the shell?
Yes.
All right, just curious.
So, a frequency detector.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sure, that'll help you point yourselves in the direction that you need to go.
And she just kind of takes one off the console and passes it back to you.
Hey, who wants to hold on to this thing?
I do.
It is a bit large for me, so yes, you should take it, Vince.
Yeah, hold on to it, bud.
How big is it?
Well, I'm small. I'm the size of a bellflower.
Vince is
I'm
also
also
small. Yeah.
Oh, you are.
Never mind.
Well, okay, what kind of small are you? I mean, in terms of the game mechanics, small means that you only take up one of the capacity of a zone. But for you, does that mean that you are that of like a small humanoid, or are you the size of an actual chicken?
I'm like a small humanoid.
A small humanoid. So then you could handle this fairly easily. It's a little bit big in your hand, but it's still manageable. And if you have a bag on you, of course, you can also put it in that.
Okay. I will put it in my bag.
So the way that it works is basically it's got a little screen on it that will show you the kinds of frequencies and where they are coming from, such as like an arrow pointing in the direction, and it will show you numbers. You guys all have a similar frequency. If you guys check yourselves out, you'll see those numbers are the same between all of you, and that is kind of what we've been looking into so far in regards to all of the places we've pointed out, as well as these missing locations.
Hey guys, check out what frequency that is.
You happen to be pointing it out the window in the direction of a young green-skinned alien boy who's kind of just standing on the other side of the street eyeing your van. It doesn't give you any kind of specific frequencies like you get off of you guys. It kind of fluctuates as what is perceived as normal.
Young green-skinned alien man?
Boy?
Damn.
Sorry, you can't make the joke anymore. Now it's not safe.
This sucks.
And with that, we drive off. So, as you guys arrive in the Flux Quarter, all of the streets that you guys are on are, typically very filled. This particular section, like we've described so far, has 3 vacant stalls. You can look more closely at them as you wish, but for the time being, they kind of seem as if everything in the dimension of where the store was completely, disappeared all at once. There's kind of, again, the ground isn't necessarily, dirt or anything in particular, but whatever the general pathway is extends into that, and it's just vacant. And of course, Barry, you do see the Threads of Eternity, which I know that you were headed in the direction of.
Ooh, I actually gotta stop off there, guys. Maybe we could get a couple leads.
I suppose it couldn't hurt to chat with some people who might have been there.
All right.
Lead the way, Barry.
Oh, of course. So the owner's gonna be Xyloria, and they're a good friend, so be on your best behavior, all right?
I'm always on my best behavior because I am the best.
Shut up, shitbird.
And I float out of the van. Above everyone.
So you guys hop out of the van and you head over to Threads of Eternity. This store is more than just a couple of tents. It actually does have a structure. It's mostly of this beautiful dark wood, and on the top of it is what looks like a giant spool of thread with a big red yarn that wraps around it and kind of goes down to the door, inviting you in. As you walk in, the walls of this place are lined with bundles of fabric and threads and sewing supplies and things of that nature, all different kinds of things, machines, interdimensional machines, things that you don't quite recognize. It's very unique in here. And of course, sitting behind the desk in the back is Xyloria Spindle. She is of the species that actually seems that she is made out of thread and fabric herself. She is this very calm and elegant type figure who sits upright. Her face is almost like patchwork as it comes together in this very elegant kind of form. And of course, as you enter Barry, she recognizes you immediately. Barry, oh, I'm so happy to see you again.
Oh, Miss Xyloria, what do I owe the pleasure?
Well, that would be you being in here, I suppose.
Oh yeah, that is what it goes. I forgot about how it goes back and forth.
It's her pleasure to have us here.
I believe it's been one too many bonks on the head.
Yes, I don't want to be here, so it is her pleasure to have me.
You don't have to stay here.
I kick shitbird.
Haha, I'm an orb. You can't kick an orb. Ah! Ah, fuck. You got me right in the sphere. Ah.
The what?
Ah.
The sphere, I believe.
Oh, the sphere. I thought you said the spear, and I was like, that's what you call your...
Well, isn't he all sphere?
Oh, you got me right in the sphere. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Oh.
So,
Don't look
Barry,
at me. Don't look at me.
I wasn't, dear.
I'm good. Oh, don't look at me.
Barry, you're here for your fabric,
Oh.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I need another 70 tank tops made.
Jesus Christ.
Ah, yes. So it's very interesting right now. We're kind of dealing with a little bit of a precarious situation.
What do you mean?
Some of our stock has been up and down. Fortunately, we do have some of your fabric in stock, just not quite all of it. I don't know if I could get 70 tank tops. However, I think I could get you maybe 50. Do you think that will suffice for now?
I mean, 50's gonna last me up until the weekend, but after that, it might be a little tight. But,
Just like those tank tops, I'm sure.
Oh, you know it. And as he says that, I just dramatically rip open the tank top that I'm currently wearing.
Belle looks at the muscles and just starts sharpening a knife again.
As Barry tears open his shirt, the fabric, which is this glittery, shimmery, sequined material, busts open. The sequins pop off and explode in a small display of fireworks. The rip does not actually sound like fabric tearing as much as it sounds like a combination of a whip crack, a tiger growl, and a awesome guitar riff all at once in the most elaborate and exotic display that you could possibly see.
Great job, jackass. I ain't got no shirt.
Thank you. I know, it's quite the display, isn't it?
I don't understand where the sound came from.
As it turns out, we do already have one in store for you, and since you are buying so many, she pulls one out from the back and hands you a new tank top immediately. The others we are still needing to produce.
Oh, of course, I appreciate it, though. Thank you.
What I don't understand is why do you have nipples when you're like a plant, man?
I'm made of flesh and bone.
No, they're a bookman. That's a plant man.
Oh, you're a bookman?
I'm also not a book. I just work with them for a living.
I thought you were a plant. I wasn't listening. Anywho,
You weren't listening, or you don't have eyes?
we evolved beyond eyes. I simply see.
Don't get them
I see
started.
it.
This makes no
Spectrum.
sense to me whatsoever.
I see in spectrums of color that coalesce into an image.
I'm sorry, that sounds much like what normal eyes do, which I don't even have.
No, you don't understand. It's evolved beyond what you would see. See, we have a thing called a cornea.
Barry, I have a question.
Oh yeah, what can I do for you, Miss Celoria?
Just because of my own curiosity, how does this fabric and your shirt ripping pertain to your work at the libraries back in your dimension? Is that how... I suppose, do you study in loud places, or do you guys practice quiet in your study spaces?
Yeah, what's the exposition?
Oh, we practice quiet. Everything has to be, you don't want to even hear a pin drop. It's a library, after all. But if somebody makes noise, they have to lay the smack down on him.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yes, there was some kind of library around here. Unfortunately, that was one of the shops that disappeared. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, it seems like basically everything in your quarter's gone except for you.
Well, not everything, but, all of the things that were interesting, I suppose. But yes, just down the street, there was the Archive of Shadows. It, was some kind of a library kind of thing, and that place had to be very quiet, so... Can't imagine that your shirt ripping would have been appropriate over there.
Oh, well, that's why you did over here and not there.
That's true. I do have... I think I may have a couple of tank tops in the back that I can give to you now, and then I will give the rest to you later, if that's all right.
Oh, that'd be very kind. I appreciate it.
Surely. And she turns around and walks back into the back room of the store.
When she leaves, I'm gonna go up to Barry and be like, "Isn't it kind of offensive to rip fabric in front of a person made of fabric, like a textilian?"
You know what? I didn't think that through. Oh man, I really crapped the bed with that one, huh?
People cut meat in front of people that eat meat.
Okay, shitbird. No one is ever going to ask you about sensitivity.
No, actually, that's a good
I just
point.
think that you're too stupid to understand what's offensive and what's not.
I would agree in this particular case with Shitbird.
Exactly. That's why we're best friends.
No, I would not. No, let's not go that
Exactly.
far. Let's
Me
not
and
say
Belle,
we're...
best friends.
Honestly, I'm surprised you would be willing to say that you don't have any good friends in your higher beings.
No, I have a million. Everyone
But
loves
your
me
best
back on
one
my
is a
planet.
lower being. That is quite interesting to hear.
That is true, but it's because I take pity on you.
That's
So you
not
should
what
be
friends do.
Really honored. That is what they pity each other. That's why they help each other.
Honestly, I understand why you think that's how friends work.
I'm gonna pull the projector screen down, and it's just gonna be Rachel's face, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey DM, what if we turn this into a murder not so mystery? I'm just curious."
Please don't.
Okay, fine. I'll put the projector screen back up.
At that point, what's her name?
Zeloria.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it was
exactly what it is.
Veronica. I wasn't listening.
Oh my god.
At that point, Zeloria returns with a couple of tank tops, but she also seems kind of confused, and she carries an additional bolt of fabric. And she puts it down on the counter, and she says, "Oh, here are your tank tops there."
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'll come for the rest whenever you got them.
Sure, absolutely. Now, don't mind me. And she begins to peer over this bolt of fabric. And you can see what's interesting about it is that the store isn't necessarily dirty, but it's kind of like messy. Like, people have been through and they pull out the bolts and they kind of unravel them a little bit. So everything is kind of put back, but not like perfectly. But this bolt of fabric is like pristinely put away, as if like a machine has like put it away. And she kind of like runs her hands over it and she pulls up this tag. It's like one of those manila looking tags, and it has a string of numbers on it, and she goes, oh, this is quite odd. I don't recall putting this on here.
What do you mean? Don't you have a system to keep everything in place?
Yes, but my system is a little bit more about the feeling of things. You know, how the fabric flows and how it breathes and sings. You know, I can kind of communicate with all of the mediums in this store, and well, this one just feels so tight and sad, and I don't really understand. I mean, I don't really have an organization system like this.
Here, let me take a quick look at it. I'm pretty good at looking through files.
Sure. So you go ahead and you look over this tag. Let's see. Well, how would you? I guess would it be you're investigating this, or
would it be investigation or navigating administration?
Why would it be navigating administration?
Because it seems to be filed in a specific manner. Both are the same either way.
Sure. I like that, and given who you are and your, I guess you would say, relationship with these kind of systems as they would be in your library, yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll. And you don't have.
All right.
I can tell you what the difficulty is,
so
right?
I get to roll a D8.
I don't think anyone
you can tell
did
me
anyone
difficulty.
take the you can't know the difficulty
Yes.
before you roll thing?
What's that, arrogance?
Yes.
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 2 of them.
Okay.
That's why I'm like,
Great,
who are
cool.
you?
So
Okay, yes, Guy and Seth. Okay. So yeah, let's say for you, let's give it a difficulty of 5.
That's our first roll.
Nope, second
no, we
Yeah,
rolled
the-
last week.
or third.
Oh, we did?
I don't know.
Yep.
And with a 2,
Ooh!
I think I have a pretty good idea.
Yes, so given who you are, you look over this number and you can't tell how it's organizing it, but you can tell that this number is very specific to this item.
It seems to be cataloged in some kind of way. Not sure how, but it's self-referential.
The catalog is cataloged?
What does the number look like?
Vince, can you give me that detector thing you got earlier?
Yeah, can I use it?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah, just point it at that.
Okay. All right. It's on.
You go ahead and you activate the frequency detector and you point it at the bolt of fabric. And what you notice about it immediately is that the first part of the number system does not match. But you do notice, Barry, that somewhere down the string of numbers, you do see the numbers that are on this card.
Very strange. Seems like it has some of the information, but others have changed.
What do you mean?
I don't know, there's something else lingering on this object, I guess.
Interesting. So you're saying that those numbers are in its frequency?
Yeah, somewhere down the line, but there's a lot more ahead of it. Who was the last customer to touch this fabric?
Oh, well, actually. And she looks it over, and
is it a particular shade of blue?
it is not. It is not blue. In fact, it is green.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Because we know a robot. That's where my head was at.
No, it is not blue. It's actually a green fabric with a bunch of gold diamonds across it. But she looks it over and she's like, well, this was part of the inventory that I lost. After everything, the stores disappeared. I noticed that some of my inventory left, and this seems to be part of that. I guess it's returned, but I don't know how it got back there. I certainly didn't put it back there.
Really now?
What part of your inventory disappeared in the first place?
This particular fabric actually came from... Well, actually, that came from the dimension from the Archive of Shadows from across the way. I remember I bought this specifically from Arev.
Now that's something interesting.
I run across the street to the Arcade of Shadows.
You bolt out the doors and you go over to where the Archive of Shadows is. And the only way you can actually tell, because again, there's 3 plots in the area, is that there are actually... there's a sign, like a criminal investigation kind of thing, like crime scene kind of thing going on, that it marked which store it was, so people coming to investigate know which plot it is. But yes, you do go over to the plot of land, and like I said, there's not really much there, other than maybe a couple pieces of spare furniture. but like really nothing. Like it's pretty vacant.
Is this something I could hold with my hand?
Sure, yeah, there's probably like a notebook or something that's left on the ground there.
I pick up the notebook.
Sure. What are you doing with it?
I run back inside. It's still gone. But what about this? And I put the notebook on the fabric.
There's nothing particular specific about it. It's just like a brown, like leather-looking notebook. It did not disappear with the shop, but it's still there.
Look what happened.
What happened?
Nothing.
Okay.
Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know.
I'm just confused.
I'm also confused.
Does the notebook have the same frequency as the bolt of cloth? Or is it not actually from that dimension?
Oh, I'll check it out.
Sure. So you apply the frequency detector to this notebook, and you see that it has a normal frequency setting where it fluctuates up and down.
Alright, so this is a local item. But what I'm wondering is the fabric. That should be wherever the shop went. So it's possible that they're all going to be coming back if this is the case. It's almost like they're getting processed somewhere.
Interesting.
But what I want to know is where.
Sure. I mean, I would hate for something to have happened to all of the stores that disappeared. I mean, I know that some dimensions, they choose to disconnect from the Wayfarer's Walk and, they leave on their own terms. But, I mean, as far as I know, RF had no intentions of leaving, at least anytime soon.
But in your experience, those dimensions that have had decided to leave the Wayfarer's Walk on their own accord, does everything from that dimension also disappear?
No, not of. I've had a couple of people who have disconnected that I knew from a long time ago, and no, they did not take. I mean, obviously we come here to sell goods, and so when we leave, we wouldn't take our goods back when we leave.
Yes, of course, that wouldn't make any sense at all.
No.
But it seems like everything from the dimension, regardless of whether or not it was sold, disappeared in this particular instance.
Interesting. I suppose I hadn't thought of it that way, but it is very interesting that this returned. That is very true.
Can I have it?
The fabric?
Yes.
Well, I suppose since we've kind of turned to this subject, are you investigating this incident at all? I know the Rift Guard has been on it.
That we would be.
Yes.
Sure. Well, I mean, as a service to Barry, of course, I would love to help you. Sure. Here, please, you can take it. And she does hand you the
Okay. And I go over to where the arcane was, and I start unrolling the fabric inside the foundation.
Sure. Nothing happens particularly. You roll it out on the ground. We'll determine that the ground in this area is wood, so it doesn't really get dirty or anything either. You unroll it, and it's still there, the ambient light that exists in this space, but it's not going anywhere.
All right.
It is quite odd. I don't quite understand what's going on here. It seems like we don't have enough information yet. Perhaps we could investigate the other stores a little bit more closely, the ones who disappeared. Unless, of course, you happen to see anything when these other shops disappeared.
I was inside when it happened, but I did remember that there was some ruckus outside. I know it was very sudden. I'm sure if you talk to some of the passerbys outside, there may be some people still around. I know bystanders are very common when things are going on. Yeah, no, for me, there wasn't as much of a sound or a light or anything. It was just almost like a pressure differential. Something suddenly vacates.
Very strange. Miss Loria, you have my cell phone number, right?
I mean, I do have a mobile device, but I don't know if it connects to yours. We can try. What's your number? Do you have your interdimensional code as well?
What's your number?
Oh yeah, here, hold on. Let me fix it up real quick. And you see Barry pull a Nokia 3310 out of his pocket.
A very appropriate phone for your dimension.
Exactly. With his meaty fingers trying to just kind of boop around the buttons to try to get all the information.
Alright, it'll be intergalactic code Z588. And then phone number will be. Hold on, let me look up
Yeah,
this
look
number
up a fake number.
to make sure it's not a real
Oh,
one.
you have an actual number you want to give?
I was going to just give a random one, but I don't want it to be an actual phone number.
That's probably smart.
If you put 555 in the middle, it's not a real phone number. It's what they do in the industry.
That's too easy though.
Okay.
I mean, you could...
Oh,
Give him my phone number. Just be like,
No.
you can give them my phone number.
sure.
You can give him my home phone number, otherwise known as Sky's phone number.
It'll be a phone number 883-233-3221.
Ah, yes, of course. And she puts it into her contacts, and she sends you a text message to.
I can't receive texts.
Oh, well.
It does have snake though.
It does have snake. It actually, I made a note of that in my
There's
character.
a note that it does have snake. Oh, okay. Then she calls it, and sure enough, it does ring on your end, so you now have each other's contact.
All right, very good. Let us know if you get any of your fabrics back, okay?
Of
Especially
course.
if you have that tag on there.
Yes, of course. And she sends you on your way.
All right, I think, other than that, have a great night. Well, day.
There's not really
Afternoon.
time here, but we all use those
Have a great
terms. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. So yeah, you leave. So are you guys gonna stay in the area? She did suggest talking to people in the area.
I wanted to surprise people by standing perfectly still and then jumping out at them and intimidating them into talking to me.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. Sure. So you're gonna go and pretend to be a plant in the middle of the path.
Yep.
Sure.
I have a plant-like stature, which gives me a bonus to that, of course.
Sure. So go ahead and give me a stealth roll, a stealth check.
Yep. So, plant-like stature, I get a D8 for this.
Okay.
Because to remain unseen while I'm not moving, get a D8.
I was gonna say it's probably not super difficult, but then I'd be like, honestly, there's not really a bunch of ambient plant life.
Sure.
So it'd probably be something pretty difficult. Maybe something like a 3.
A 3?
There's a lot of ambient.
All right, let's see here.
We'll see what you can do.
While they're doing that, can I stack every piece of furniture on top of this bolt of cloth that I can find within the
Sure,
plot?
you can. I was about to jump to you
Okay.
too. So again, there's not a whole bunch of furniture. There's probably a desk, a chair, again, some odds and ends like other books and things like that. If you look through the books, they're not particularly helpful.
Every book is helpful. You just have to find the right thing.
Sure. Again, it's not anything. This was a archive of historical texts of different civilizations, histories of different dimensions too. But so you'll see a bunch of history and things like that. But yeah, I mean, you can look into that more if you decide, but that's kind of what you get just giving a flip through. But yeah, so you're just stacking them all on top of the fabric. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to solve the mystery.
I know you're trying to solve the mystery, but is there a specific intention that you have with stacking this on the fabric or no?
He's just trying to figure it out. Just let him figure it out.
Come on, Rachel.
I know, but
I'm figuring
I have
it
to
out.
figure out how to
One
react
roll
to
solves
this.
the
I have to tell you
mystery.
how it reacts. So I didn't know what you're
Oh,
trying
Damn
to
it,
do.
Rachel.
Yeah.
He solved
He's trying to
it.
solve a mystery.
So
Don't
Alright, cool.
understand.
So no, okay, guys, calm down. I know you got my
Okay.
back. I'm gonna
Please,
try.
let's
to
do
Okay.
I'm
baby
gonna explain
GM.
this.
Help me. Explain to me what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm putting all the things on the bolt of cloth because when you put the puzzle pieces together, you see the
Yeah.
puzzle.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Right. Give me a
you're
moment to
right.
think on that. Casey, how'd you do?
So I got a 4, but I make an
but-
argument that I'm going to the Eternal Bloom and there's happens to just be a pot laying around. And I just jump in the pot and then looks a little bit more natural.
okay. Circumstantial camouflage.
Circumstantial bonus.
Why don't you
You're like a sillier piranha plant.
why don't you give me a roll just to see the likelihood that it didn't disappear when the whole shop disappeared? Difficulty
Would that
5.
be a D10 for that?
D10, yeah.
Okay.
Difficulty 5, you said?
That's not good reasoning.
That's a 3.
3, perfect. So yes, so there is a pot there. I will give it to you. You hop into the pot and you get perfectly still, and you look like a beautiful bellflower.
And then when people go to pick me up, I just start screaming at them.
Okay. Andrew, Sky, Berry Time, you guys doing anything?
No.
So, Vince, what's your game plan here?
You're staring at the puzzle of furniture.
Huh?
Yeah, what are you setting up?
What?
What can I do to help?
It's all the things. It's all the things on the one thing.
Please expand on that.
Sure. There was a thing.
Yes.
It's not here anymore.
Yes.
It left one thing behind.
Yes.
All these other things.
Yes.
These things and that thing together will make the thing come back.
Now, I understand your hypothesis, but do you have evidence to prove that?
Evidence.
That's the things you need in order to find the way to your conclusion.
I'm still in testing.
Okay, I understand.
All right.
I haven't concluded anything.
Well, do you want help moving the stuff around?
I think I got it.
Oh, okay.
This is all stuff. There's not that much stuff here.
Yeah, there's really not a lot.
A lot of it is gone.
That's true. That's very true.
And none of this has the same frequency as the Bolton Clock.
Very strange.
While you're having this conversation, give me I guess it's just kind of a intelligence check.
Sure. Is this about the world?
It's about what you were talking about.
Is that just a D10?
Pretty much any roll that you don't have a score in is going to be a D10, except for combat, which would be a 12.
So, I need to know because I have a struggle.
Yes.
That we might be contending with.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's about the physics of the world, specifically the menagerie.
It's not about the menagerie. It's about what you were just talking about. Which also, Bear, you can also give that roll.
I got a 9.
A 9.
You got a 9? Great.
That's a 5, so.
5. Wonderful. The difficulty was a 5. So, I'll give it to you. As you're kind of going back and forth in this conversation, Bear, you kind of recognize that this furniture, being that it has this fluctuating frequency, it's not really going to help solve this mystery. It's not really, piling it up is not really the answer here, but there is something too about these frequencies and the fact that those are fluctuating and the fact that the frequency of this bolt of fabric is stationary. And something has locked a frequency to this. All of these frequencies that you're picking up aren't just random. They're specific and intentional. And there is something behind why they're locked in this pattern of numbers.
Very, very interesting. Maybe we should tell the Rift Guard about the lock on their frequency. They might have better insight than we do.
Okay. But, counterpoint, what if we set it on fire?
Well, from what I know about fire, that actually might change the frequency of it. But it's a very nice piece of fabric, and it was a gift from a friend, so I would have to say no. But what I'm finding interesting is the furniture that we have here is local to this area. You know, the menagerie. So if we get that out of here, maybe something will make it come back. I don't know. It's kind of going against the already set frequency.
Meanwhile, Casey,
Uh-huh.
Belle, there is a person unsuspectingly walking by your pot. They seem very focused and a little concerned, as you could probably imagine with everything going on.
As they come close to me, I'm gonna reach out with one of my leaves, grabbing onto their leg and just saying, "Were you here when these shops disappeared?"
Oh God! What? Oh
Yes.
God! Oh, hello there.
Hello,
oh,
meat
wow,
man.
I really like your eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Before you is this character. They are masculine presenting. They seem to be this kind of physical emanation of music.
Not a meat bag. My mistake.
Their body is it kind of appears like glass, but it kind of like you can see the vibrations within them. And they have this kind of music staff like pattern that goes up their body and down. And they have a instrument attached to their back. Yeah, I was. It was a little bit ago. I was just out here performing, and all of a sudden these 3 shops disappeared. Why?
Yes, from what we understand, we're looking into it, you see. There was a bit of a scuffle before they disappeared. Do you happen to know anything about that?
No, there wasn't any scuffle.
A ruckus, perhaps?
No, man, it was really just...
Some flim-flam, maybe.
it was really quiet. I don't know. I was just out here. I mean, well, I guess quiet other than my performance, but I mean, I wasn't really collecting a lot of attention, unfortunately. You know, it was a bad day. But anyway, my name's Eerie, by the way. What's your name?
You can call me Belle.
Ah, Belle. Yes. It's a good name for a bellflower. Yeah, no, I mean, I was just out here performing. Again, people just kind of passing me by. I got a couple of coins out of it, which was pretty nice. But yeah, it was like literally all at once. I was kind of actually in the middle of the triangle, which made it even more intimidating. They all just kind of, I don't know, how do you describe like going into itself?
Implosion.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Implosion. They imploded. They imploded into themselves. Everything, and well, not the people in them. The shopkeepers went, but the people in the store were kind of just standing there, very confused. As was I.
And what is just a follow-up question? What were you performing at the time?
What was I performing?
Yes.
I was performing the Beatles cover of Obla Di Obla Die.
Ah, yes.
It was a cover.
We
It's okay.
don't have copyright to that. No.
Ringo Starr is a litigator, and that is a fact.
They'll destroy us in court if that even touches this.
The ghost of John Lennon will come down or come up. I don't know. Depends on what you think. But they won't be happy.
Stop saying it. Every moment those lawyers, they gear up. They're coming for us.
I was playing a cover of a song, ABC by Michael Jackson.
Doesn't matter how you say it.
That's not better.
That might be worse.
I was playing a cover of I don't know. Yeah, there you go. That one. Yeah, I was playing that.
Black Dog by Led Zeppelin.
Oh my god, Robert Plant's outside my door.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Nebula's safe.
Jimmy Page is freaking pissed.
Oh, Orb Jesus. You've done it now.
Why? What's up? Do you like that song?
I was just... no, of course, I would never. I don't have the singing voice for it.
Hey, Sky,
You'll fuck it.
you're being rude.
No.
Just let Rachel play her fun.
All right, that wasn't
game.
helpful. Yes, no, I would never consider singing the song anyway. I don't have the voice for it. But
Oh no, not singing. You just like it. I don't know. I mean, again,
it's fine. Music in general is great for plants. It's like milk for you. Well, not for you, but for the meat bags. It's just like milk. Makes our bones grow strong, as it were.
Okay. That makes
Anywho.
sense. Yeah, I don't have bones.
Neither do I. Did you happen to notice any particular people that were left in the empty plot that of the stores as they disappeared? Perhaps we could ask them a little bit more.
I don't know anyone specific, but they kind of like peruse the land around them, and yeah, I think I remember that woman over there. And there is this kind of like plant-like creature, although they're almost like they're more humanoid shaped. They kind of look like a plant sim, if you know what I'm talking about. They're just plant people with like plant clothing. It's pretty great, very plant. You'd like them.
Ah, well, that's a bit racist of you to say, but all right.
So she can go over to the woman over there?
Yes.
Sure. In the meantime, how are we doing over here, Barry Vince? Good? Time? Anything?
I try to find the detective that's babysitting us. I go up and I pull on their pant leg.
Yes, hello.
How do you lock frequencies?
Yeah, that. There you go.
Lock frequencies.
Yeah.
Is that a thing that you're able to do?
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Why? Okay. Yeah, why? I mean, we locked frequencies on you guys so we could, like, watch you. What? Okay, alright.
And she walks over with you.
Aha, and right here.
Yes.
This bolt of cloth with things on it. Pay attention to only the bolt of
Yes,
cloth.
I'm paying attention to
Not
it.
the
Mhm.
things. The things are superfluous. The bolt of cloth. as a defined frequency.
Okay, interesting. That's not really something that should be done without our knowledge.
But here is the kicker.
Oh, there you go.
It was.
That's what I'm seeing here.
Dun, dun!
Correct the case.
Cracked it.
I was gonna talk about the tag. There's some kind of filing system in place here.
Oh. Okay.
So good news is everything might come back, because this is also from one of the places that got zapped away.
Okay, well at least it's good that it wasn't destroyed, but how do you know that everything will come back? This is just one thing.
Ah, I said it could. I didn't say it will.
Oh.
It's a
Okay.
hypothesis. We need further testing. Here, I'll start this fire.
Okay, we're not
And she kind of actually stops you. She's like,
we're not setting fires in public like this.
Hey, my fire.
You can make another one later, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Preferably not in the, middle of the public area, please. But yeah, good work. That's definitely something I'll bring back to headquarters. Like if you need other places to go, we can also talk about different, quarters and things like that.
I'm not there, but I have a question.
yes.
Just maybe this is better directed at you as GM, because
Sure.
she is saying that she locked our frequencies.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But they also used the excuse that they brought us in because we had the same frequency as the stuff that disappeared. So that's, if our frequency was in flux before, why did we get brought in at all?
You should ask her more about that, maybe.
All right, you two who are there, go ahead and ask that.
I tug on her pant leg again.
Yes.
I threw up, but this time with questions.
Okay. Sure. What kind of questions do you have?
Why did you lock our frequencies if they were in flux?
Your frequencies weren't in flux. So what your frequencies were that we detected were that they were very specific. We didn't realize that somebody had locked the frequency of objects. Sometimes it happens with people, but it doesn't happen with objects specifically. Here, we locked your frequencies in the way that we are using them to tell when you, or if you are attempting to leave, being that you are under investigation.
But did I have the same frequency as this bolt of cloth when the thing disappeared? And that's the frequency of the disappearing things? Is that the frequency that I had, which was in flux?
No, your frequency is stable, but I mean,
And she takes a look at the frequency reader, and she's like,
well, as far as I can see, you guys have the same frequency. Why? Is there more information here?
As the fabric,
Yes.
I didn't get sucked up into something.
so remember what I said is that the frequency was the same, but down the string of numbers is where you saw the differential that is related to the tag. That's something that she hasn't seen.
I think we've all got Dewey decimaled.
Dewey Decimal.
Wait. So we have the same beginning string of frequency numbers, except for the last bit?
As GM, except for the last bit. As her,
Yeah, do you? I don't know.
What is the last 6 numbers of mine, which I assume is the last 6 numbers of the fabric?
it is separate. It is different from the last 6 numbers of the fabric. And
Yeah, no, but what are mine and what are the fabric? Is it like 6 or 7 numbers? Is it?
it's like 6 numbers, just to kind of to translate this information in a way that is easy to describe, and I don't just have to start throwing numerals at you. Basically, I'm imagining you guys are going between the fabric, and you guys, are you looking at each other as well?
Well, I think what I want to do here is erase the last couple digits or last 6 digits of the fabric thing, and then write the last 6 that are mine and see if I can clone myself.
I love that idea.
So that is a really fun idea. It's not quite a cheat code system like in video games. You can't really erase the code with the frequency detector. You can just see that they correlate between the tag and if you look down the string.
Can I do it with a pencil and eraser?
Erase the tag?
Yes.
Yeah, you can erase the tag.
I erase the tag.
I mean, nothing happens. It's now a blank tag.
I write my name, Vince Meeced.
You now have your name. You have claimed ownership of this bolt of fabric.
I made this.
Congratulations.
Okay, wait, so that's interesting. So you're saying that you guys have your frequencies are not the same between you and the object?
No, it's different frequencies, it seems. The beginning's the same, but then it changes on.
I mean, for one, this object...
Wait, hold
being
on, what's
frequency-
mine compared to his?
So you guys look at the frequency between the both of you, and kind of in the same place in the string of numbers, basically there's a differential in not all of the numbers, but some of them, as if classified differently.
Oh, Barry, you're fabric too. And I start stroking Barry, just gently.
No, I'm very much flesh and bone, but
The fabric of friendship.
yeah. The fabric of friendship. And I start petting Vince on top of his head.
Is this anything, detective?
I don't know.
I think this is love blooming, you know?
Maybe that's kind of a personal matter. This is very interesting that you guys' frequencies aren't actually the same. Again, we were just looking at the beginning of the strict numbers, but this definitely aids our investigation. Thank you.
Well, it seems that we've been classified.
As it would seem, I don't know how or by whom, but why would you be classified?
That's a very good question. Cataloging things is a very good way of collecting and gathering information. That way you can kind of go to one subsection of, like, let's say in library terms, you go to an aisle, and it's the aisle about monkeys. You're gonna have a bunch of books about monkeys. I guess I'm in the bunch of books about, big beefy guys.
Interesting.
Going over to Belle.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, so you and this eerie guy go over to this plant-like creature. She is kind of sitting there in front of another building. Has chairs out in front of it, not really anything. She's just hanging out. But she sees you approach and is like, "Oh, hi, Eerie. Nice performance earlier. Hello."
Yes, hello. My name is Belle. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about what you saw when the shops disappeared earlier.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, I've already talked to all of the Rift Guard about it.
Yes, well, they seem to be incompetent because they're hiring the alleged suspects to look into this as well.
You're a suspect.
Well, just because my frequency has been locked, so it seems.
Interesting. I don't know what that means, but okay. What can I do to help you, Deputy Rift Guard? And she salutes you.
I salute back. Yes, I was wondering if you could just describe in detail what you saw. You were inside one of the buildings when it disappeared, yes?
Yes, I was inside Eternal Blue. I was just picking up some more herbs and some seeds from my garden back home. You know, have you ever jumped into a body of water and felt the pressure on you all at once? Imagine that in reverse.
So jumping out of water like a dolphin.
Well, no, with the sensation of jumping into water, you get this feeling of jumping out of it. I don't really know. It's kind of the only way I can describe it. It just...
Was there anything in particular that you saw that might have caused this? Anyone in particular acting suspicious, or anything about the store in particular that might have seemed off from the other times that you've been there?
Well, not that anything was particularly odd. I was just having a conversation with Talia, who's the owner. She was talking about how back home, well, things really aren't so great, and she's doing her best to keep the store full with things, but well, they seem to be having a problem with their ecosystem back home, and it's destabilizing. That was the last conversation I remember having.
Interesting.
Yeah, it seemed really sad. She was kind of down about it, and she was just kind of, I don't know. I felt really bad for her, especially because we were just in the middle of that conversation. Then all of a sudden, it was like whoosh, and she was gone. And I mean, I really hope it wasn't something like if their connection port got destabilized too much because of their ecosystem. I hope it wasn't too late. But
did she say anything particular about the ecosystem and what might have happened?
Well, I know that, like, on their planet, that she was talking about how there was a lot of...
Dimension, please. We're all on the same planet.
Well, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, in her dimension, basically there's been a lot of polluting and things like that were happening from a different species, and it was causing a massive destabilization, causing lots of issues in their environment. It was getting to a point where it was almost too much. There was some people who were fighting against it, but it was a little sad. I feel horrible about it. I offered her to come to my, dimension. I hoped that maybe it would help her, but she seemed pretty eager to stay and fight for her cause.
Yes, it's always terrible when something on your dimension goes wrong. One of the reasons why ours is ruled by the plants.
Yes, as is ours too, in a way, and she kind of gestures to her plant-like body.
Yes. You are, of the more sane minds of the dimensions around here. It's quite interesting how others still hold on to the fleshy minds that like to spread like plague.
Yeah, she,
never giving back, as it were.
She eyes Eerie and looks back at you and is like, yeah, sure. I don't know, is there any more questions that you have? This conversation was a little depressing.
Yes, well, we live in depressing times, don't we?
Not back home.
Well, things are happening here, are they not?
I suppose, but this place is kind of outside of time, isn't it?
Good point. We live in depressing places. Sometimes. We're in a depressing place right now.
Sure.
If you can call it a place. It's outside of space and time, I believe. We're in.
Yes, we are. And,
Excellent. I didn't catch your name, by the way.
Moira is my name.
Moira.
Hmm.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. Perhaps the next time we meet would be under a more happier place.
Well, I hope so. But yes, nice talking to you.
You as well, Moira.
Do you go back over to everyone else?
Yep.
Time, have you been doing anything or just kind of hovering? Your nebulon gas. Has that been on your mind?
That has been on my mind, but it feels like, I don't know, there's definitely a side where it's like, am I allowed to just go off and do my errand?
You can bring everyone in that direction if you want.
Yeah, both myself and Barry did our errands, so
That is true, guys. I'm detecting frequency. Let's go this way.
And I start floating off, George.
Well, he doesn't have the detector. What is he doing?
I'm a higher being. I can detect frequencies. Shut up. This way.
All right.
Okay.
If you want, I can drive you in that direction.
Yes, that would be much faster.
Yes, that sounds good.
Great. Okay, so let's huddle up in the van.
Except it's not a van. She has replaced the van with a proper horse and buggy. There isn't actually like a horse, but it's like you kind of got just like the carriage part, and then it just kind of drives on itself. It just has the place for the horses in the front.
Oh, it's so good. It's so lo-fi. So warm.
Very lo-fi. It's
it's
very
how it was
warm.
meant to be ridden.
This is where it should
Yeah,
be.
well,
Oh.
it's a good grain.
So
It's good.
rich.
That's good right there. Anywho, to Kimgor's gas and grass, please.
Sure. You hop in your horse and buggy without the horse, and you guys start to head over towards the Shadow Exchange, which is in the direction of Krimgor's grass and gas. It is grass and gas or gas and grass? I'm sorry if I'm misspeaking.
Gas
Gas
and
and grass, of course. How could I be so naive? While you guys are on the ride over there, I guess you guys talk about what's going on. Are there any thoughts that you have right now?
So it seems that we've all been cataloged as some kind of interdimensional library.
What makes you think it's a library?
Or some kind of cataloging system. I use library in a loose term.
Well, it is interesting. Many people were describing just a weird shift in pressure that they experienced when the event happened, but not much else, to be honest. Although, the woman who runs the Eternal Bloom had been talking about how there were issues environmentally on her home dimension. I don't believe it's related, but it could be. We could check up on the others and see if they were having a similar issue.
Global warming is such a sad affair. Brings a tear to my eye every time I hear about it.
And you guys see as a single tear falls from the cheek of Barry.
Are we gonna turn into books?
Again, I use library in a loose sense of the term.
Well, we've been Dewey Decimal.
That means that I'm not being, one-to-one with it. I'm just using that as an allegory for something I'm more familiar with.
Are we gonna turn into allegories?
No, I don't think so.
I don't even know how that would work.
I prefer crocodiles. I think crocodiles would be cooler.
Crocodiles are pretty cool.
I'm sure that you guys aren't all turning into books or crocodiles for that matter, but this is interesting that you've all been cataloged. I mean, none of you have sensed yourselves being pulled from realities, have you?
I don't know. Can I go home and find out?
No, not until the investigation is over.
Oh.
You guys you're not necessarily suspects as much as evidence now, which makes it even more important, to be honest.
I feel like that makes it worse.
It's worse on our end.
I feel kind of dehumanized, but, I guess that's just, bureaucracy for you.
Yeah, I know. Situations suck, but we kind of just gotta put our heads down and push through, alright?
So you guys head over to the Shadow Exchange, and that is where we'll end our session.
Ooh. All right.
A mystery is asunder.
Mystery is asunder. Clues have been figured out. Very nice, everyone. I am proud.
Jeez.
I am
Wait,
proud.
I was so immersed in my character. We weren't in the Shadow Exchange the whole time. We were in the arcane.
No, you were in the Flux Quarter.
The Flux Quarter.
There's the Shadow Exchange, but you were in the Archive of Shadows, which was one of the stores that disappeared. That was the plot that you were in.
There's a place called the Archive of Shadows, and then there's the Shadow Exchange.
And they are not the same place, yeah.
Okay.
Plugs!
Let's get into plugs, yeah. Casey, go first.
You can check out my personal stuff over at Casey_Reardon. I'm also going to go ahead and shout out Homie and the Dude. They do amazing 5e supplements, including the Wandering Tavern, which is kind of like a Studio Ghibli-inspired supplement. They also have Sky Zephyrs for like floating ship combat stuff. It's really, really cool stuff. If you head over to hatdbuilder.com, that's where their shop is, you can actually get now, it used to be 10%, but now we are giving you 20% off anything you purchase over at hatdbuilder.com. 20% off if you used our coupon code RPJesters at checkout. And we are actually getting a little bit of a kickback from that as well for sending you over there. So now is definitely the time to check out hatdbuilder.com and all the amazing stuff going on over at Homie and the Dude. Last thing for me, sorry, I got a lot of stuff going on. I am going to be doing a charity stream over with Game Master Monday. We're going to be raising money for the California wildfires. We're going to be doing a live stream over on their Twitch channel, which is going to be Game Master Monday's Twitch channel. It's going to be on February 18th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. We are going to be playing an amazing horror Call of Cthulhu game. It's going to be called In Search of Dr. Seuss. So you can imagine how that's going to work in a Call of Cthulhu game. So check us out over at Game Master Monday's Twitch channel, February 18th at 10 p.m. Eastern. Passing it over to Andrew.
Hey guys, what's poppin', gamers? We have a Patreon now. That's pretty wild. That's pretty great. And thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. We really appreciate all the support, especially, in these trying times that we find ourselves in. If you're not on the Patreon, hop on it.
You can get in for as low as $1.
We have a lot of things going there. We have talkback episodes. We got Q&As. We got little extra doodads, character sheets galore.
We have an interview with OKSDM, who is the maker of this system.
Whoa!
Woo! And honestly, if you're a follower on our Patreon, you even have the opportunity to decide things for our future games.
Whoa.
I mean, the fact that we're in this setting right now was from a Patreon poll.
Yeah.
So hop on.
For the next game that I'm going to be running, I have an idea for some stuff that I want our patrons to interject with there as well. So that'll be coming on the Patreon if it's not there already by the time this episode comes out. So
Cool.
keep a lookout for that.
So if you want to have your thumb on the print of RP Jester's history, follow us on Patreon.
Join that Discord.
and join our Discord. Oh yeah, how about our Discord? We can chat with you.
Yeah. You got a popcorn it, Andrew?
Popcorn to Rachel.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And just a couple of shout outs. First of all, go over to Hard as a Dungeon podcast and take a listen to their Pleasure and West River series. I am guesting in their 3rd episode, and I highly recommend you check out the whole show. It is absolute poetry. Absolute poetry. Also, if you're missing some vampire content, I would implore you to go check out Folk and Myth over on Twitch and YouTube. I just guested in the 2nd episode of their VTM Montreal game, Black Pentecost, and that entire show is, honestly, the cast is amazing, so please go check them out. And of course, if you're looking for more stuff about me, go ahead and follow me on my Twitch, Majora's Rose, or my personal social medias at Rachel Kordell. Popcorn, Seth.
Hi. Do you enjoy delicious buttery popcorn? Well, go to your local grocery store. Find a nice oval ready bucket container. Take it home.
I don't think we can. We're not
Pop
sponsored.
a little popcorn in the microwave. While you do that, leave a review. I don't know where it's going with it. I don't know. Someone said popcorn like 3 times, and it's really just stuck in my head now.
I could really.
Do you have popcorn?
Actually? Yo, okay.
I have popcorn in this closet.
So this is gonna sound wild.
If you open the door, I'll give you some.
I'm not gonna open your door.
No.
This is gonna sound wild. I'm gonna blow your mind. So my girlfriend has turned me on to frozen popcorn.
Your girlfriend turned you on? Oh my god! Oh
no,
my
but you
god.
just.
I believe it. I can't believe this. This is crazy.
I know. Sinful. Degenerate.
Sky, do you wanna jump in with the last plug here?
It's disgusting. It's disgusting what you
Bye.
Goodbye.
Very, very simple.
Guys, frozen popcorn is actually really good. It's like.
You've been listening to Echoes of the Menagerie, produced and performed by RP Jesters, a user-supported TTRPG actual play podcast. To support the Jesters and get exclusive content, become a member of our Patreon at patreon.com/rpjesters. Be sure to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen online. We'll see you next time.